Ciao. What's good, everybody? Thank you all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. We are here today to talk about the Belle Collective, Season 6, Episode 8. And the name of the episode is Reunion So Sophisticratchet. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Listen, the word is so whack to me. You know how people try to come up with a word and make it stick? I feel like that's what Carrie tried to do with this word. And it didn't land the way I think that she intended it to land. And I can't believe that they used this name. One thing that they got right is the ratchet, because this was just a mess and it was so unbecoming. It really was. You give us 7 episodes of a reality show and then a 1-part reunion special, and there was really nothing special about the reunion. And I don't want to dump, but I will say this. Do better. Just do better. I feel like Carlos goes around promoting his shows and himself, and he wants us to support him because he's Black. And while to a certain degree, I get it, right? We should support one another. But that doesn't mean that you should cut corners. You have to give us a sound project. We willing to support, but you have to give us a sound project. It's almost like the people who feel like that, support Black businesses and they just cutting corners. And you get what I'm saying? I'm a support anyway. I'm going to come anyway, but goddamn. Now, I don't think that this is going to be a long review because I feel like the reunion was kind of rushed to me. So we're going to start with Carlos. I feel like Carlos, if he wants to be the executive producer, then he needs to do that. Part of me feel like Carlos is too busy trying to be the star, talking about he's going to try his best to put the sisterhood back together. You're not a Belle, and you're not even Iyanla. Just let them work their shit out. You are just there to facilitate the discussion and recap the season, to confront conflicts and answer fan questions. Play your part. You are not a Belle. So we don't need you to try to fix nothing. So the ladies come out. It was almost like Carlos was doing like a roll call. They had to wait into the back until he called them and gave them like this little bitty intro. Girl. So let's talk about the fashions. I can't rate the fashions because there really wasn't none. And I'm just being honest with you. Most of the women had on blue except for Carrie and Latrice. And I was kind of thrown off by that because I could understand if the B characters like Tambra had on a different color than everybody else because she was really barely on the season. But the main cast, it seems like most of the main cast had on blue. And I would consider Latrice and Carrie as part of the main cast. They didn't have on blue. So I was a little bit thrown off about that. But we're going to talk about the reunion, and it's probably going to be out of order. Well, I'm just going to say Latrice and Leticia for the end because I only watched it one time and I just wrote some things down, okay? So I believe that they started it off with Marie versus Latrice and them squashing their beef. Marie said that she was ready to move forward with Latrice so they could move forward in the group as a whole. Latrice said that she never really had any beef with Marie, but she is liking this new side of her since she's getting D. And is that really a thing? Women change? Because I heard Giselle's daughter say that about her. They didn't say that she was getting D, but they were saying that she's more happy when she's in a relationship. I guess I can see how it can be true because when you're in a relationship, your focus shifts somewhere else. And so I can see Marie not really having a lot of time to focus on Latrice when she's in a relationship and have to worry about Cedric. Then we get Carrie. Carrie says that Jackson is ratchet. Tambra must have really took offense to that because she was on that ass. She was really on that ass. Carrie running around calling anything ratchet is colorism at its finest.
You not fab like that.
And like Marie told her, this grandma-ish, baby, it gotta go. The drawstring ponytails, the strip lashes, digging your hand in mayonnaise jars, baby, it's ratchet. It's ratchet. This is the only thing that they really talk to Carrie about. After what Carrie and her husband has provided for the show, you're telling me that her segment was only dwindled down to her saying that Jackson was ratchet? Not her trying to balance being an entrepreneur, a wife, and a mother? And that's what I'm saying. I feel like Carlos only likes to focus on the mess. There were a lot of things that I wanted to ask, that I wanted them to ask Carrie and Matt about. I really want to know what she meant about a non-traditional marriage because Matt didn't even know what she meant. And I also want to know who has set up dates for Matt outside of Carrie because they have supposedly been together since they was 15 years old. But if you let a person talk long enough, they'll get to spilling some shit. They'll get to over talking. And so I want to know what what Matt meant by that because I do feel like that they probably got some type of open relationship or some type of arrangement going on.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Be very clear.
That's how I feel. Next to get Tambra. Damon isn't there. Earlier, Tambra said that Carlos can FaceTime him later, and then Carlos asked him he have his number, and she said no. I like that Carlos do stuff like that because I feel like and I said this before, when Andy do it to the Black women wives or whatever, nobody really say anything to him. But when the Black gays do it, baby, they get held to the fire. They get called all type of gays and punks and all of this other type of stuff, but there's really no homophobia that we really see coming from Black men when it goes towards Andy, and I'm standing on that.
I stand on it. I'm standing on it.
I'm standing on that, baby. I don't. You don't really see a lot of homophobia coming from the Black husbands or spouses of the housewives when it comes to Andy, and I feel like it's because he's white. Sorry, that's just how I feel. Tambra says that Damon has not let her into his financials. Tambra says that she doesn't think that Damon is broke. She just thinks that he misuses his money. They do not have a joint account, but she said that she would never put herself in a situation where he would have her strained financially. Baby, I remember a little bit after college, one of my friends and her boyfriend, they got together. They ended up getting an apartment together, and they ended up sharing accounts. And she told me that one day she came home and she just assumed that her boyfriend was at the gym because his car wasn't in the driveway and there was no lights home. And when she got into the room of the house, she was startled because he was there. And so long story short, their lights were off because he ended up letting his older sister borrow some money from their joint account. And she asked him, why did he let her borrow money? And she's, this older sister had 5 kids and she said they didn't have any food. And so she told me that she asked him, well, why did you use the money for the lights to give her? And he said that he wasn't going to let his nephews and nieces starve.
Oh, bitch, please.
When I hear people mismanaging money or men mismanaging money, that's what I think of all the time. That is what I'm thinking of. Because no, I'm not saying that your nephews and nieces should starve. However, we are not about to go without lights because your sister can't feed her kids.
We're not going to do that. We're definitely not going to do that.
And because your sister got babies over here and babies over there, you got babies from niggas all over there. You know what I'm saying? We're not about to go without lights. Carlos ended up asking the women, do they have joint accounts with their husbands or spouses? Now, from what I could see, it seems like Carrie and Latrice does have joint accounts with their spouse or their husbands because their husbands got money.
Smell that. That's great, huh?
Marie said that she does not. Leticia said that she does, but she also have a separate account because when she had her baby with Glenn, he let her take off. And when he got to acting up, she wanted to leave. And when she left, she couldn't afford a cheeseburger. Now, I could be wrong, but I think that's because Glenn wasn't bringing in money like that. He probably made enough to cover the rent, and she probably went to go get on food stamps and WIC. But they was living paycheck to paycheck. I don't think that they had any extra money laying around like that. Glenn just doesn't strike me as that type of man. I remember I told y'all when I was in college, I was working a security job, and I had a coworker. I was like 20. He had to be like 32 because I went to school. His older brother, when I was a freshman in high school, his older brother was a senior. His younger brother was a senior. So he had to be at least around 32 at the time. And we made the same amount of money. And he told me that his wife was a stay-at-home mom and they had 2 kids.
What?
And I remember thinking, we don't get paid enough for me. So in my head, I was thinking to myself, what type of bitch is staying at home waiting for him to bring home that little bit of money? And I'm saying that to say Leticia should have had her ass at work. Glenn couldn't afford for her to be off. They could not afford a lifestyle for her to be off from work. And her having $4, that doesn't strike me as him trying to control her with the money. It happens, but I don't think that was the case. That wasn't her case. He just wasn't bringing in money like that. So the men ended up coming out. I did think when the men came out, Matt and Cliff looked nice in their suits. I wonder what Cliff looked like when he was younger, because Cliff looked really nice in his suit. Glenn looked so ghetto. Glenn had on glasses on the inside. That is so 2005, 2008. And he swear he was fly. See, this doesn't strike me as a man. This doesn't strike me as a man who can tell Leticia to take off and be with the son for a little bit. He doesn't strike me as that. Then we get to Cedric and Marie. Cedric believes that they got a divorce because of communication. And he said, as her king, Marie must submit to me.
Nigga, please.
As a king? This nigga don't even got a king-size bed. They had a full-size bed over there. What the fuck is she submitting to?
With your broke ass.
We haven't seen Marie house this season, but I'm sure that Marie, with a doctor on her name, is living better on her own outside of Cedric. I don't think that there's anything that Cedric can do for her. And I think that this conversation is a broke man's game. Notice Matt and Cliff didn't agree because those are men who have money.
Clock that T.
Clock it.
Clock that T.
Clock it.
Clock that T.
Clock it.
And I'm pretty sure Matt probably has the most money of the men on the stage. And he says that he and Carrie cover each other where each other lacks. And so I just think that that is a broke man's game. Over, you need to submit to that. That's a broke man's game. I think that Cedric feels less than because he can't really provide anything for Marie that she can't provide for herself because she is the breadwinner. And I think this is Cedric trying to put Marie in her place. And I think that that is a red flag. I do. But that's a siren. That's a siren.
Nigga, get out of here with all of that.
Next, we got Selena. Selena said that the wedding date is set, but things can change. She said that Mike likes to stay out to 2 or 3 in the morning. And I figured this was going on before. Selena is weaponizing what happened to her son on Mike.
And I'm sorry.
Is she worried about Mike being out there? Sure, sometimes, but it's not to the extent of how she tried to make it seem. I just think that she doesn't like him staying out there late because she didn't even, when she was talking about Mike this time, she didn't reference it to anything that had to do with her son. And she doesn't like it, but they're going to have to compromise. She's going to have to go out with him sometimes. He's going to have to stay in sometimes. Selena strikes me as the type who's probably in there making them cheap-ass earrings and crying all the time about her son, and she's going to need some therapy because I'm not trying to be funny or sound unsympathetic because I am sympathetic to her situation, but she's going to have to need some therapy. He's not going to want to be in the house with you crying all the time. Now, she said that the day before the reunion was the 5th anniversary of her son's death, and the day of the reunion was his son's birthday, so he died before his birthday. And for some reason, that just made me think of Celeste, because everybody keep on saying that Celeste was 15 years old, and I've been telling y'all since the story came out, baby, she was not 15. That girl was not 15. She had not made her birthday yet. They found the body, and I think that it wasn't a coincidence. Let me just say this. It wasn't a coincidence that they found her before her birthday. Then we got Latrice and Leticia. Child, Latrice ain't nothing but a poor man's Portia Williams.
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that?
And if you really listen to her when she was talking, she was even quoting Portia. I read the comments, and it's not that I just feel bad for Leticia. It's that Latrice really is playing in Leticia's face. And the truth of the matter is, it's coming off like Latrice is rejoicing in Leticia's pain. And that tells me that she knew more. Well, we know that she knew more, right? But if Latrice was the right type of bitch, she'll say it instead of trying to beat around the bush.
Whack bitch.
Now, I think that Leticia's anger is misplaced. So they said that when some of the old bells left, Latrice ended up recommending Amanda and 2 other girls. Now, Leticia said that Latrice, and Marie was actually on the phone having talks about Amanda joining the show or being on the show. And then Latrice felt like that they weren't going to choose Amanda, and that they knew that if Amanda talked about Leticia, she would get TV time. And so that tells me everything that I need to know. That Amanda and Latrice went to the producers, and Amanda told the nature of her relationship with Glenn, and Messy Carlos said that we're going to talk about this. Because they say that Carlos loves to destroy families.
And you didn't know, bitch? You didn't know?
Carlos even said that Latrice wasn't around when the question was being written. That's because production wrote the question.
No. Oh yes. No. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Leticia and Glenn know the production wrote the question, but they don't care enough to quit the show like Akeisha did last year. And so that, to me, that is literally selling your soul. And then Glenn want to talk about raising a black son and how he'll be able to get on the internet. If it was really about your son, you'll quit the show. My child's well-being will take precedence over all of this shit. And so my thing is, you don't have to do the show. You just like what comes with it. It's not like y'all are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, or this show is putting y'all in a new tax bracket. Because from what I'm hearing, y'all getting chicken dinners and a pack of weed cigarettes.
Yes, baby.
Then they get to what the DMs say.
Oh.
At this point, I think it's pointless for them to read the DMs. I believe that Amanda and Glenn both deleted DMs and messages to make themselves look good. But I do believe that Amanda and Glenn was fucking.
I don't give a fuck what y'all saying. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying at all.
I don't give a damn what y'all say. I do believe that. Amanda said that when they was in Taste, Glenn had his hand around her waist and she told him to stop because Jovan was there and she'll be upset. And so it comes off to me, Amanda didn't keep it G. They was fucking on the low and she blew up the spot. Now, why she blew up the spot, I don't know. Probably because he cut her off when he recommitted to Leticia, or maybe she just wanted some fame. I just would never have made this my entry point. But, you know, some of the girls, sometimes they think because they fucking with a married man that it makes them that bitch. Or they that girl because I was able to make this girl cheat on her husband, or I was messing with this woman's husband. But I don't think, I think that, it really depends on the girls. Sometimes people have a different way of thinking, and she probably thinks she's that girl and they make her look like that girl, but you don't really look like that girl to me, mama.
You are a low down, dirty, nothing ass bitch.
You don't really look like that girl to me. Leticia, and I feel like that she do think that she that girl because she's smaller than Leticia. But girl, you're not that girl. You're not that girl. Leticia's face eats up Amanda's face any day of the week. Period. Leticia said that Amanda body shamed her and Latrice got up and danced. And Leticia said a person who will get up and dance when I'm body shamed was never dancing with me in the beginning. And this is where Latrice loses me because I feel like she's putting too much on it, right? And I get that's her best friend, that Amanda is her best friend, but we're not going to uphold our best friends in no bullshit. She tried to put Amanda on a pedestal because Leticia was fat. And that's the truth. Even when Glenn was saying at the reunion that he wasn't attracted to Amanda, Latrice is over here rolling her eyes and smacking. Just because Glenn fucked Amanda doesn't mean he's attracted to her. Niggas will literally fuck anything.
Message.
And that's my point. If you believe that Glenn fucked, keep it there. But you don't have to go on the ins and outs of whether he thinks that she was attracted or not. We don't know if Glenn is attracted to Leticia. We don't know if Cliff is attracted to you. So some shit you just have to let be. And also when it came to the DMs, she said that Glenn deleted some of the DMs. Girl, if you standing on it, then you show us the DM. If you standing on it, show us the DMs. Show us the receipts. Like it's like you put too much on it. You're putting too much on. Leticia tried to expose that the laws was called the Taste because Latrice and Glenn was fighting, and I people watch. And I can tell that it was the truth by how Selena moved in her seat and looked at the camera. And see, you got to watch those friends who are so extra that they got to all of us, when they hear shit, they got to make sudden movements. Those are not your friends.
Message.
I have been around friends and families and have heard some things and have been gagged and kept a straight face. Because I didn't want nobody else to say, did you see how it was the truth? Did you see how he looked? You get what I'm saying? Nevertheless, Leticia, where are the receipts? We at the reunion now, baby. You said this to expose them. Where are the receipts? Where is the police report? Where are the receipts? You're supposed to be a bondswoman. Where is the receipts? It ain't hitting the way that you thought it was gonna hit.
Loser.
They talked about Marie. Marie had said in the past that she doesn't feel like Latrice is a good friend to anybody. And Marie said that she doesn't feel bad for Leticia because she told her before. And at the reunion, she stood on it. She said, I'm standing on that. I don't feel bad for her. When I tell you I love that chick it said that at the reunion, right in her face, and said, I'm standing on it. I love that chick. Leticia said, I know I got a big back, but I can't carry all of you motherfuckers.
In some ways.
Not you body shaming yourself. I guess Leticia ain't dancing with herself. And she said, I want to make this point clear. And this is pretty much the episode. She said, all is fair in Belle Collective. And I think that is also a shot to Marie. You don't feel bad for me, bitch? Okay, I got you too. I got you too. And that was pretty much the episode in season. All I got to say is, do better. Again, I want to support, but you have to give us a sound product. You have to give us a sound product. And that's all I'm going to say. But again, y'all, let me know in the comments what y'all think. But let me know in the comments what y'all think, y'all. Did y'all think that this was a good reunion? Did y'all think, is this a Carlos King production? I want to say that this is my first season watching the show. I watched earlier seasons of Love and Marriage Huntsville, but I don't think that the seasons that I watched, Carlos, he probably, did he host a reunion that I've seen before? I did see him host a reunion before. This is my first time seeing him do a roll call, though. I haven't watched Love and Marriage Huntsville since maybe really early, probably during the pandemic. And so I don't think that I've seen a lot of reunions he did, but I know for sure he didn't do the first reunion that I saw of Love and Marriage Huntsville. It was a girl named Egypt and her husband. They do like a HD TV show or something like that or whatever. But this is my first time seeing Carlos host a reunion, and I don't think that I really like it. Like, I don't know. Okay. But y'all, thank y'all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate the love and support, and I'll see y'all later. Adios.